Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We're here today with the weekend edition of the Cabral concept called our Cabral HouseCalls. This is my ability to be able to come into your home, answer your questions from the community. And we do that every Saturday and Sunday. If you're new to the show, welcome. It's great to have you. Basically, what I do is I just take 5 to 6 questions every Saturday and 5 to 6 questions every Sunday that have come in through the Ask Cabral webpage and answer those questions for you. So they're always answered in the order that they come in. And so again, like I said, do feel free to ask them there. What I'd love for you to do though, is just make sure that you don't have to wait the 12 weeks it typically takes for your question to get answered live on the show. What you can do is you can join cabralsupportgroup.com. It's completely free. That's it, literally free. And you can get same day answers to your questions from my team. All right, we are here to answer some wellness, some weight loss, weight gain, some anti-aging based questions, anything in between. So let's get started. All right, Darren's going to be up first. Darren says, good day, Dr. Cabral. You spoke about the ills of using mouthwash and the possible fallout with increased risk of hypertension and reduced nitric oxide production. As someone who regularly trains, I'm wondering if occasional alcohol drinking and using regular toothpaste may have a similar effect on one's nitric oxide production, given they may also destroy bacteria in the mouth. Can you clear up, please, and or list other factors that limit NOS production? Also, should one refrain from using L-arginine products? Thank you. All right, yeah, so there's 2 questions in there. You snuck in that second one at the very end, but I'm happy to help. Okay, so if anybody has not heard, I did a post. Well, first it was a Friday review. Then it was an Instagram post. And then it was a full podcast because so many people, myself included, like I'm a regular person, and when I read these things, literally like aghast, like, how is this possible? Using mouthwash literally leads to high blood pressure and can lead to type 2 diabetes. I didn't believe it, read the research, and it's actually quite simple. It destroys the beneficial bacteria in the mouth because mouthwash kills all bacteria. And by doing so, does not allow for the production of nitric oxide. And if you don't have basically the vasodilation, the oxygenation, that nitric oxide production, you will end up having hardening of the tissues and arteries and endothelial tissue and end up potentially with high blood pressure. So, how is there not a warning, right, on mouthwash bottles? So, typically, this is not happening with natural mouthwashes. Like if you're using something potentially with maybe there's a little bit of zinc in there, but maybe you're doing oil pulling with sesame oil or coconut oil. Doesn't seem to have the same effect. There's this alcohol base and a couple other products that I put in my research. So please do go to stephencabral.com/podcast. Just type in mouthwash. You'll be able to find the show. Okay, so that's that. And yes, so if your toothpaste contains some of the same products that would kill bacteria in the mouth, like any antibacterials, if your toothpaste literally says antibacterial, it could have the same effect, all right? So that's that. Occasional alcohol drinking, no, I don't believe so to that same degree, but certainly nitric oxide production will be lower when you do consume alcohol. Yes, so that part is absolutely true. There is in no way, shape, or form is drinking alcohol a health thing. I think we now, so back in the 80s and 90s, your doctor would say, have 1 or 2 drinks a day. It's good for the heart, right? Good for cardiovascular. We now know that is absolutely false, without a doubt, absolutely false. And on episode 2580 this week, I went over the new alcohol health guidelines. So please check that out, stephencabral.com/2580, all right? Your last one, should you refrain from using L-arginine products? Not necessarily. So if we look at L-citrulline, L-arginine, L-ornithine, all of these are vasodilators and can help with the production of nitric oxide. Now, I have shared with you on a previous Cabral concept that those with the herpes virus, herpes zoster, herpes simplex 2, and any herpes-based virus, L-arginine could cause an outbreak. So you want to balance that with... it's right there. Lysine, L-lysine. So taking L-arginine will actually then further push down L-lysine, and that can lead to more of a herpes-based outbreak, all right? So for your average individual, they should be totally fine, all right? Chelsea's up next. Great question, and thanks for writing in, Darren. Chelsea's up next. 2 questions about CBD calming gummies. If I have 2 to 3 before bed, does this break my fast or affect my blood sugar? I stopped eating by 6 p.m. Second, can I have CBD oil gummies on the detox? Is this considered a supplement, or should it be removed during the detox? Well, there's actually some literature that shows that THC, tetrahydrocannabinoids, and cannabinoids or cannabidiol can and does have to be detoxed through phase 2. Interesting, right? But so does caffeine. But then when I read other literature, it shows that caffeine, to varying degrees, can help speed up liver detoxification, and so can CBD. My recommendation is this. If you don't need to be using CBD during the detox, you're not using it. If you do need it for your sleep or whatever anxiety or restlessness, then you'll continue using it. And I think you'll be totally fine. So again, now I have to give you my disclaimer, but I cannot provide you with any medical advice, medical cures, medical treatment plans, or medical diagnosis on this podcast. All right, so I'm going to type in equilibriumcbd.com. That's the CBD website. I thought it was it is a CBD. I must just spell it wrong. So equilibriumcbd.com. There we go. Okay, let's check out those gummies. Let's see here. Because it should be, because I know we got these for both children and adults. Yep, it's 10 milligrams per gummy. And one gummy contains only 10 calories and 2 grams of sugar. If you keep that to just 2 gummies, that sugar should be metabolized through your stomach, just through the process of digestion, and it should not affect your glucose levels in any way. Now, one thing I do want to share with you is that you may simply want to have your gummies around 6 or 7 p.m. after dinner. And the reason is they're going to take about a half hour to an hour to get into your system. Whereas the oil, if you hold it under your tongue, it gets into your system within minutes. So if you're really worried about the fast, you'll use the oil. If you don't mind the literally 20 calories and 4 grams of sugar, which is all natural, by the way, then you'll have that with dinner, because that's not going to give you a glucose spike with dinner because you've already eaten food. And it's going to take an hour to get into your system anyways. So hopefully that was helpful, all right? All right, Anonymous is up next. Hi, Dr. Ball. I have a question about elimination. I only have a bowel movement once a day in the morning. I have done the CBO protocol, detoxes, etc., and my body feels pretty balanced. I eat normally, smoothie in the morning, 2 meals after that, healthy, organic, etc. I'd like to eliminate 2 times a day as I get a bit bloated throughout the day, but I can never seem to, despite healthy eating, supplementation, high water intake, etc. Is this normal or unhealthy? Is there anything I can do to promote a second bowel movement during the latter half of the day? I think I'm Pitta Vata, if that helps. Give any context, very active and healthy, good sleep, little to no dairy in my diet. Last question, unrelated. What's your take on the new Oura Ring beta sleep staging? My staging is super different. All right, I've answered that Oura question a few times now, but I'll give you a quick one, but I'm sure you've already heard it. You wrote in on January 5th, and we are now, what is the debut of this? Yeah, we're March, believe it or not, March 4th. How crazy is that? So you wrote in, what was that, 10 weeks ago? Something like that, 8 to 10 weeks. Looks like we're doing pretty well timing-wise. Okay, so let's get to your first question. There is nothing wrong with having 1 bowel movement per day, right? In an ideal world, yeah, you probably would have 2, without a doubt, because you'd be eliminating more often, and if you're eating 3 meals a day, then basically the stool bacteria would be in your body for less long. However, that isn't the case for many Vata-based body types. And so what I would say is this. If you're getting enough calories, that you're not losing too much weight, that you're getting enough water, that you're getting some fruit in your diet, some good vegetables, some good fiber, you should be good. Now, if you feel a little bloated, my highest recommendation would actually be to run the gut bundle. You can find that at stephencabral.com/labs or stephencabral.com/shop, and then just click on the labs tab. Yeah, I would run that just to make sure that there's no bacterial overgrowth, that there's no yeast, candida overgrowth. That's what I would do. And if you're not able to do that, and you don't think that there's any overgrowth, then you may simply try using a product like psyllium husk with your breakfast smoothie. I know there's already a little bit in that, the daily nutritional support. You might add another 3 or 4 grams, and you can just put that powder right in your smoothie. Won't have any difference in taste, just add a little bit of texture. And a lot of people like that. And so you just want to drink a lot of water with that. Of course, when you're doing it with a smoothie, it makes it really easy. All right, so hopefully that's helpful. All right, Erica's up next. But just the one thing with psyllium husk is that it can be contaminated. You just want to make sure that you're finding a good organic source, and that would be my recommendation. All right. Eric is up next. Hi, Dr. Ball. I had a question on the CBO protocol. About a year ago, I tried taking it, and month 1 appeared to help me, but I think the second month was potentially too strong for my body to handle. I had a lot of anxiety, increased sensitivity to foods. At that point, I stopped taking it, but I'm starting to realize it might have just been a Herx reaction, and I might have been on the right path to healing. My candida levels came back high on blood work. What would you recommend for someone that is sensitive to taking things to this approach or this protocol? I think I have issues with histamines, mast cells, so that might add to it as well. Appreciate your podcast and your time answering these questions, Erica. Yeah, happy to help with this, Erica. So why don't you also, if you can't find the shows, write in at cabralsupportgroup.com. There's a podcast on how to titrate in your supplements. And I really want everyone to listen to this. To me, and I hope you know this by now, right? This is episode 2584. Right, I've done a few shows. I want you to know that if you never run a lab through Equalife, an at-home lab, if you never run or complete a protocol through Equalife, use the iBone app, which is free, or even leave a review for the show. That's totally fine with me. I just want you to know that. Like, I'm okay with that. What I want you to know, though, is this information. So let's say that you're working with a practitioner and you are in Guam and we don't ship to Guam. You have no way to get it. This information is meant for everybody anywhere, right? Regardless. So what I want you to know is how to titrate in supplements when you believe that it might be too strong for you. So on that full podcast, I teach you how to, instead of using, so every the CBO protocol helps people rebalance their gut, and it works. It's literally clinically validated. We give this protocol to thousands of practitioners around the world to use with their clients and patients. So it works. I mean, that's the bottom line. There are very few people who guarantee what they do works. We guarantee it. Now, having said that, you're working with a biofilm disruptor, an antimicrobial, and then a non-pathogenic yeast or a probiotic. And we do this in a very specific order. And what I want to share with you is this. It goes gentle to stronger to strongest by month 3. And that's how we help people. So there's less Herx reactions, and it works great. So a few people in month 2, they start to add back in certain foods. You need to make sure that isn't it. And they also move to the next set of supplements. And 99 out of 100 times, it's fine. But there will be one person where it might be a little strong for them. So all we do is we only do one supplement at a time. And we go to the smallest possible dosage, which is 1 capsule. That's it. And then when that works okay, then we just add in another one. And so, you can work with an IHP level 2 in this, or you can listen to the podcast and I walk you through exactly how to titrate in those supplements. All right. So happy to help with that too. And if you can't find it, always just ask. We will find the podcast for you at cabralsupportgroup.com. All right. Let's do another question from Greg. Greg writes in, first question from Greg, but one more question here today. Hi, Dr. Ball. My question is regarding protein and calorie consumption. I exercise 5 days per week and I'm pretty active. I usually consume approximately 2,000 calories and 170 to 200 grams of protein. My daily breakfast each morning is a protein shake that contains collagen powder, vanilla protein beef isolate, cacao powder, maca, lion's mane, ashwagandha, flax seeds, kale, coconut yogurt, turmeric, cinnamon, baruca nuts, tahini. This equates to about 80 grams of protein, 50 grams of fat, and 40 carbs. I feel good doing this. However, I want your insight on whether or not this is too big of a meal and if long-term this will hurt my digestive system. Thanks. Okay, yeah, let's dissect it. I mean, this is how I started my career. So this is a lot of fun, actually. I used to, back in the day, this is the late 90s and early 2000s, I'd have these Excel spreadsheets where this is before all these beautiful online calculators and all those different things. I mean, our new Iboan app is literally AI-generated nutrition plans based on your specific food sensitivities and parameters. It's like every, nutritionist dream. But back in the day, this is literally what I did. And so I say, okay, let's just take your total macros. So 4 times 80 is 320. That's for your protein. 40 carbs. So you're at a 2-to-1 protein to carbs. So 4 times that is 160. So that's going to be about 380 and then 100. So we're at 480 calories. And then 9 times 50, because it's 50 grams of fat. So 9 times 50 is 450. And so we're at, what do we say? 480 or so. 480 plus 450. Yeah, so we're at about 900, 910 or so. Okay, so you're eating half of your calories for the day for breakfast. So I just want to throw that out there. So your largest meal of the day is for breakfast. It is a large amount of protein. I am interested to see, when do you have this? Do you have this upon waking? Do you have this an hour after waking? It's a lot of food to start your day in terms of digestion. Now, the saving part to this is that it's liquid, which means this is easy to digest. So this is how I would look at it. If this was post-workout, because you didn't say when you work out, I'd say no problem, like really no issue. An hour after you work out, okay, the body's back in the parasympathetic. You drink this over the course of a half hour to an hour. You kind of time release that protein, no issues at all. And I know that you're trying to get 170 to 200 grams of protein. So basically you need to have 50 to 70 grams of protein, 3 times a day if you're eating 3 times a day. So that's kind of the bigger part, is like you're consuming almost 40% of your diet from protein alone. If your goal is body transformation, understood. But if you're in your, let's say, 40s and 50s, I want you to look at my longevity research based on that percentage of protein from the diet. So just think about that. Yes, this will work. I have no problem with what you're doing right now. You have to be careful with these beef isolates. Just make sure, again, it's coming from grass-fed. Make sure there's no tainting there. And, I have no issue with this. If that's what you want to do, I have no issue on my end. So I just look at digestibility, timing, total percentage from protein, and yes, this will work in terms of overall body transformation. I just worry about, if that's what you want to be doing long-term for longevity. All right, so hopefully that was helpful. We're going to keep it at that for today. I appreciate all the questions. Really great array of different topics to be able to go through. I have no doubt tomorrow's going to be the same. Tune back in, and we'll be going through 5 to 6 more questions tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.